I'll be treating on a topic, as I earlier said, methods of studying. We have four methods of studying, which talks of when to study, where to study, what to study, and how to study. Now, a lot of students don't understand when they talk of methods of studying. Studying is a lot of, it's like I earlier said, meditation. You have to follow its process to know if you are studying or you are reading. So with studying, you have this particular point where I am talking about what to study, where to study. With where to study deals with place. You must be able to know your environment in which you're studying. Your environment counts. Why are you good in studying? Now, studying deals with where to study. The brain has a capacity of carrying knowledge. Time limits. The brain also gets tired. You know, computer, they say our brain is bigger than a computer, but the brain also needs to rest. With studying, to follow up these four methods of studying, you should be able first to identify the capacity of your brain. If you know the capacity of your brain, then you can be able to carry out these four methods of studying. How do you identify the capacity of your brain? You should know the computer. When the computer is full, what do they say? No space. Delete to create space. When a bucket of water is full, what will happen? It will pour on the ground. That water that pours on the ground is waste. So you should be able to identify when that bucket is filled, that is full, for you to close the tap from flowing, so that the rest should not be wasted on the ground. Now, when you are studying is like meditation to identify the process that your brain carries on. Now, in that studying process, look at it. When the bucket is full, the rest is wasted, which means when your brain is tired, what you'll be doing there is you'll be reading. And in that process, you'll be doing what? Wasting the material. So you should be able to identify when your brain is tired or it is full. There are some people that can study, their brain can carry for 1 hour. If they study within 1 hour, it flows and they understand so easily. Some 30 minutes, they know themselves. So they will not be wasting their time with friends that study for 6 hours without them even understanding the capacity of their brains. Many students study without them identifying the capacity of their brain. So how will they carry out these 6 methods of studying when you can't even understand how your brain works? So before you carry out the methods of studying, you should be able to know how your brain works in these 6 methods of studying. These four methods of studying, you should be able to know how your brain works in this process of 4 methods of studying. So with studying, you should know the capacity of your brain. Some, they can study for 2 hours. Some can study for 1 hour 30 minutes that their brain can carry. Not everybody has the same brain capacity. So you don't work or you don't study following your friends. So you should be able first to identify the capacity of your brain on how you should study. So you don't study because you see your friends studying for 6 hours. Your friends can study for 6, they can study and they don't know they don't know how they have not studied their brain. So they will just be there studying until they will exceed the process of studying. They will now move to reading. That's why I see some people, because they don't know the capacity of their brain, they just carry a lot of time knowing that they are studying, which they are reading. At this last period, it is no more entering, they are just reading like how you are reading the Bible. Many people just read the Bible. They don't study the Bible again. You ask them later on what happened to Psalms, this. They will not even be able to tell you what happened there. They will not be able to make you understand what they have gone through that scripture, because they are reading. You hear somebody who say, I've read the whole of Genesis. You ask him or her only one scripture, him or her cannot even explain it so well. Why? Because they are reading. Now with reading, you must know the capacity of your brain. Study the capacity of your brain where you can carry on for long. Now, the process is not ours, like you see some people studying for 6 hours, which they later on end up reading. When you study and you've known how your brain can carry, you end it. Even if your brain can carry only for 30 minutes, end it at that 30 minutes. Go for a rest. Rest so well and prepare for the next time for your studying. Now, in these methods of studying, you talk of where to study. You look at your environment. Some people can study in the marketplace. Some can study in church. Some can study in debates. Some study in a quiet environment. You should be able to identify where you can best study. In this process of studying, you should be able to understand where you can best study, because those that can study in a debate, they go in a debate and their friends are arguing. This one will say, this is what is being, this is what the teacher said. This one will say, this is what I studied in the book. This one will say, this is. But someone that can study so well in a debate, who pick the right points, even though this one is arguing, that one is arguing, you know what is right there in that debate, and will stick in his head. The one that is not good in studying in debate, look at what will happen. That person will go there picking fun times and comedies, comments, wrong things, in order to make laughter out of it. And they will be laughing, joking, and smiling. At the end, they will even spend 6 hours or 4 hours in that debate. That particular person that is not good in studying in debate will go out of that place empty-headed. Because of what? Following the aspect of friends in studying. If you are not good in debate studying, leave that place and go to a place where you are good in. Where to study? Some can study in a noisy environment. Good at that point. They can study in nightclubs where there are bands hitting. Boom, boom. They can study. They know their places of studying. If you are not good there, leave the place. Study in your environment where it is comfortable for you. If it is a quiet environment, look for a quiet place and study, if that is where it's good for you. Now you go to, I spoke of where to study, when to study. There is a time limit for studying. There is a time for studying. See, one thing I want to make you understand is, with studying have time. There are some people that they are good in studying when the sun is hot. When the sun is hot, some people are very good in studying. Now, when to study, it deals with time. Some are good in studying when the sun is hot, 12, 1, 2, 3. They know that those periods of time, they are good in solving maths. When they solve math, they enjoy the math so well. Some are good in drawings, maps, doing one or two things. When to study? You should know your time in which you are good in studying. And when you want to study, don't study at 12 midnight. That 12 midnight, some people will sleep and wake up at 12. I'll prefer you wake up at 3:30 a.m. It is advisable for you, not 12 midnight. You'll be so much distracted at that time. So to keep your spirit in good terms and in good condition for studying, study at 3 a.m. or 3:30 a.m. in the morning. Arrange your timetable. Study from 7 and end at 11 or 11:30. Have 4 hours of rest as a student. Your time of studying. Now, this goes very, very okay with time of studying. When the sun is hot, when places are calm, like in the evening, 4, you can study from 4 till 6. You go and you take a break, you rest, you stroll, you start again at 8, you study. You end at 11:30, you pick up your book again at 3:30 or 3 a.m. and you start studying till 5 or 6 a.m. So now I move now to the next point, which talk of what to study. With what to study, you have this particular process. What to study. What do you study at this particular time? You have the subjects. The subject. What subject do you pick up to study at a particular time? Matters. Maths, when the sun is hot. Take drawing whenever you are being distracted. With what to study, whenever you are in a noisy place where you are not good in noise, wherever you are in an environment where it is distracting you, which will cause you to read. Now, what will you do? Occupy yourself with subjects which deals with distraction, like drawings, map, label. When you have drawn, you have to label. Maths, deal with those subjects. English language, deal with those subjects. Handle them when there is a noisy environment. Study those ones and enjoy studying. While when the places are calm, study subjects which deals with calmness. Economic, geography, history, all those ones. Study them. With what to study at a particular time. There are subjects you should study that does not deal with distraction. That is with what to study. Now, how to study. I believe with how to study, it deals with the process in which you are carrying out the study. As I earlier said, studying is research. Studying is research. When you are doing your research, your findings, that is studying. For example, They can ask you when you are carrying out the process of studying. They can ask you, what is this? What is, example, citizenship? What is human rights? When they ask you some certain questions, you must carry out some findings. What is economic? When they ask you a part, you start with the topic, the head topic. In studying, you start with the head topic. When you start with the head topic, understand that head topic before you move down to read the rest of that topic. The types, the advantages, the disadvantages. And when you want to study, when they can ask you a question like, what is soil in geography? Close your book. Try to respond the question without reading. In your own point of view, what do you think soil is all about? Now, when you respond to it, now you reading the answer or what it's talking about, it clarifies your point of view. What you were thinking that it was soil, now it is not. And it clarifies you realize that it will stick in your brain because you are eager to learn. Now, studying is like research. You are finding out. So finding out, you not just put everything before you. You have to close your book without reading them. You ask yourself a lot of questions. Types of soil, you try to name them. Black soil, red soil, just offhand in your own point of view. Then now when you open your book, you try to explain the soils. If they ask of mixtures, even though I did not do arts, I did the technical department. They ask of mixtures carrying in the chemistry, in the lab, when you carry this mixture and you mix with this other one, you can say red and blue. Now, in your studying, you can say, without you going through it, you ask yourself, if too much of blue mixed with little of yellow, what color will it give? How can explosion, what are the causes? Or what can lead to explosion? You ask questions before you go in for it. That is studying. You do findings, you ask yourself some certain questions. Then now when you are going into it, you are going to clarify your doubts in those questions. What are the advantages? You try to see if you can bring out the advantages. What are the disadvantages? You try to see. Then now you go into your book to clarify yourself in those doubts. Now, studying is like when you open your book and there's a particular word where you don't understand. You see some people will be like scarcity. When they are talking about in economy, they talk about security. In the stock exchange markets, commercial banks or central banks, security in the stock exchange market. Many people don't understand security. They'll just read the security, which is reading. You ask them, what is stock exchange market? They don't know. What is security? They don't know, but they have given you in the answer. Come work. They have not understood what security is all about, what stock exchange market is all about. For you to study or for you to know how to study, you must go on research. What are the securities in which the central banks do sell or buy? Now you come to understand what security is all about. What are the stock exchange that the central banks or commercial banks do carry out? What are stock exchange? You ask yourself those questions and you realize that you know what stock exchange are all about rather than you cramming stock exchange. You just cram and you write. You cram security and you write. Now they ask you what is security. You don't know. You go and be writing your own things. So in studying, when you are reading, you pick out, you write out the words in which you don't understand in those notes, in the areas in which you are reading. Write the words down, jot them down, carry out research on those words, understand those words before you match it now to your studying, to your reading. Then now you now understand what is before you, what that topic is talking about. That is studying. Studying deals with research. Studying deals with findings. Studying deals with putting what is before you in your own words, in your own understanding. That is studying, not copying everything the teacher gave you. Do findings, do research. That is the purpose of the Android world. So, I really appreciate. Thank you so much. And I really appreciate you for being patient and following me. Thank you. I love you so much. And follow me, please, on YouTube, Big Boys Africa, TikTok, Big Boys Africa, Facebook, Big Boys Africa. I really appreciate you to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.